I need to buy a very important thing immediately, but I don't have the money yet to purchase it. But I have known someone that has enough fund to lend me, so I can borrow out from it. Borrowing means that I could be in debt. For a lot of people, that can be intimidating. However, debt is really just a way of borrowing money with a promise of paying it back with interest. This sounds okay and not intimidating anymore, unless I would take out a big loan or borrowing that I couldn't pay back. People take out loans or borrowings to buy houses, cars, pay for school, and others. However, not just people borrow money. Companies also borrow, and governments do it too. When a government borrows, it is called public debt or sovereign debt. Governments raise this money by issuing bonds and then selling them to the public with a guarantee that they will pay them back. Just like people, countries need money to buy or build stuff that their income, mostly tax revenues, won't entirely pay, or it is not enough to pay anymore. Governments should invest their money wisely on things that help their citizens, like for education, to build more schools, or for healthcare, build more hospitals and clinics, and the like. Governments can also invest in things that will generate revenue or grow the economy, like infrastructure projects, like building bridges and farm to market roads. Governments can also reduce taxes, or they can even give it directly to its citizens who need support, like patients in the hospitals, homeless aged people, persons with disability, and the like. Though public debt has benefits when invested properly by the government, it has also risks. Let's take two countries for example, London and the Philippines. Let's say they borrowed the same amount at the same time, $100 billion, for example. Looking at their respective economies, they are so different. For London has a GDP of $1 trillion, while the Philippines has only $100 billion. London has only 10% of borrowing over its GDP, while the Philippines consumed all 100%. They have the same debt, but with very different outcomes. Countries are able to manage their debt when they borrow a reasonable amount relative to their ability to pay it. London is big enough to pay the interest on the debt, while the Philippines cannot pay things back. It now gets harder to convince investors to lend more money. The trust level for London goes up, while the trust level for the Philippines goes down. And it is scary because it only gets harder from there. If economic crisis hits, London has the funds they need to respond, while the Philippines is going to need some help. The trick for the Philippines here is to invest the money they borrow wisely, which can help keep debt manageable. In order not to experience low trust level and unpaid debts, countries must adjust its own budget. Unnecessary expenditures should be foregone. In conclusion, debt is not about living beyond the means. It is about borrowing a reasonable amount relative to the ability to pay it. And that ends my topic for today. Thank you for listening and watching my presentation. This is Marideth S. Gallardo saying good morning, everyone.